Good morning.
Good morning.
Have a seat. All right. So, my name is Miles Ewing, for those of you who don't know me. I've been coming to Epiphany for about 4 years with my wife Katie and children, Liam, Caitlin, and Aiden. I'm a lifelong Episcopalian and clergy's kid, and I'm up here to talk about money. This, if you weren't aware yet, is the dreaded stewardship sermon. And if you're not looking forward to it, I guarantee you I am not looking forward to it. I've seen my father give this sermon, as well as many other priests, as well as a few lay people. Hats off to Zach, who killed it last year. I'm going to do what I can. Dwight asked me to do it. I agreed, so here we go. I'm going to talk for a few minutes about me and why I give and why my family gives, a little bit of history. Then I'm going to try and connect with you guys. You may have seen these cards, or hopefully everybody has a card. That'll become relevant in this conversation. And then I'm going to try and bring it back together and have a sort of think about what is bigger and greater than us. So, starting with me. My father, as I mentioned, is an Episcopal priest. Actually began his career in Jacksonville with Tom Foster, who I think many of you know is our former music director. Way back in the day, yes. Episcopal Church, small world. My dad had a passion for turnaround projects. First at a mission in Louisville, then at an old parish in Buffalo, New York, then at a seminary in New York City. What I learned by watching this is that turnaround projects take energy, community, and raising money. The earliest fundraiser I can remember was at the mission in Louisville, where we were trying to raise $35,000 to buy land and build a new building. Think about that. $35,000 is all we needed, right? What I remember is coming in, and every day there was a set of construction paper, 35 little construction paper stairs that were built up that went from the basement to the first floor with $1,000 written to it. And I would come in each Sunday, I think I was 8 years old, and little paper figures were climbing those stairs as they raised their $35,000 to build that new church. And what I took away from that as I reflected on this sermon was that, you know, money is important to the dreams of a community. It is something we do together. Growing up, I remember that my parents always gave, regardless of how much they made. To that end, I believe most priests give to the parishes they work at. I understand the Kahn family is in the top 20 pledgers here at Epiphany. My uncles gave, my grandparents gave, a lot of friends of my family around the country always gave to support the churches that Dad was working at. And what I came away with from that is that I was raised with an expectation of giving, that being generous is a part of who we are. When my dad took on the seminary project in the early 2000s, lack of money was a problem. Underfunded, underendowed, fundraising strategies were core to the turnaround as much as anything else. And over the years, there were successes and failures. Ultimately, the Great Recession caught them at a very vulnerable time. What I came away with from that is 150-year-old vibrant organizations can go into decline if they don't have the support and mission to bring money in. So growing up with this view into institutions and this family expectation to give, I've always given. My first memory of giving is a United Thank You box, United Thank You offering, OTC box. I see some of you remember those. That was for the 1976 Guatemala earthquake. And I remember collecting those in Sunday school and bringing them in. My mother always gave us $1 in church each Sunday. It would have put into the offering plate, a tradition we continue with our children. To me, being part of a church has always included giving. My first pledge, and I did not have much money at the time. I was working for a member of Congress. I could rent a room. I couldn't afford an apartment. I ate an inordinate amount of Lipton noodles. And my car was so old, is the setup line, literally driving around the Lincoln Memorial in D.C., the front right tire came off. That is a halting experience. Yeah. My first pledge was actually to NPR, WAMU, and I was really proud of that coffee mug. Right? I mean, that coffee mug connected me to being an adult, to giving my own money, not just my mom's. And it really meant something to me. Giving is a very important part of Katie and my life together. Epiphany receives the single largest gift we give. Not because we get a mug or a tumbler or even Chuck's Hop Shop growlers that I got at the... Kid you not, I got those at the Fair Start auction last month. But it is a place that we come as a family. It's a place that I feel close to my extended family. It's a place where we feed our souls in a community we want to be a part of. We recognize that we need to invest to help this community be vibrant and meaningful and growing. We also believe that we need a place where unity and inclusion are the goals, and that in divided times, churches like Epiphany are critically important. So that's enough about me and why we give. Now let's talk about you. And I'll warn you, audience participation is coming. All right. Everyone has their own reason to give. Everyone has their own reason to be at church. The cards that you were handed when you came in represent some of those reasons, though your card may not actually be your reason. Part of the reason we handed the cards out randomly, and I think most of the choir has cards somewhere up there, is because you may be holding the reason of someone else in your hands, and our giving is as a community together. So if we look at the cards, some of you have a set of hands representing community, support, relationship. This may be why you give. Your image reflects that Epiphany is an important community. You might say, I'm here to support others. They're here to support me. My relationships at Epiphany enhance my life, so I will give. You might be holding an image of a cross. This symbolizes the inner development, spiritual practice, pilgrimages, closeness to God. This image reflects those who say, my life today is busy, stressful. I find peace here. It helps me be a better person. The routine of daily prayer, evensong, taizé services, embracing a higher power are things that help me get by. As Deutsch says, Epiphany is a gym for the soul. This is important to me, so I will give. Some of you are holding an image of a music staff. This image reflects those who say, I love our music. Our choir is amazing. The concert series, the music academy, evensong services, the joy of the organ lift up my soul. This is important to me, so I will give. Some of you are holding an image of children. This image reflects those of you who say, raising children is hard, scary, and actually overwhelming. It's great to find a group of parents and experienced caregivers here at Epiphany who I hope the church can help me raise my children to be the adults that I know they can be. Children's spirits need nourishment too. They get that here at Epiphany through Sunday school, acolyting, confirmation, the well, vacation Bible school, junior choristers, and so many other things. I didn't have enough space on the page. You might say, this is important to me, so I will give. Now, I would like you to turn your card over. We're going to take a minute or so, a few seconds really, and write down a word if you have a pen or a pencil. And if you don't, just think about that word. Just one word of what, and actually somebody had 2 words at the 7:30 service, so 2 words is okay. Write down a little something that says, that captures what Epiphany means to you. So take a moment, turn your card over, think for a minute. It's okay. Yeah. Okay, everybody pretty much there? All right. Now, on the count of 3, I want everybody to say their word. Ready? 1, 2, 3. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. 7:30 did really well too, though. And you got to say, they started pretty early. All right, we're going to try this one more time. Ready? We're going to get our word out. Think about your word. It's what epiphany means to me. 1, 2, 3. All right. A lot of different words, a lot of different things that it means to people. So my ask to you, and this is the first of 2 asks. My first ask to you is that you let that word and maybe this card remind you of why epiphany is important to you. And when it comes time to pledge, make one. Even if you don't feel like your gift is large enough, it's important to give, and it does help. Pledging units are an important part of the measure of the health of the church. So, and then my second ask. As you reflect on the importance of epiphany to you, to others in this room, to the community, to future generations, I'm going to challenge you a little. So, Dwight's not here, so we'll go a little off script. He'll catch this up later. I think I've indicated I grew up in the church. I've been around church economics a long time. The way people pledge kind of falls into categories. And I'm going to share the sort of inside baseball categories with you a little bit. Some people just leave a tip, like they would do for a service well rendered and appreciation. That's what they do. Other people do their part. They have a view that based on their income, based on what's fair, based on what's appropriate, based on their other priorities, they do their part. And that's great. That's important. Other people yet, their gift to the church is one of the most significant gifts they will make that year. And it is a generous gift that they think hard about and make a strong gift. Other people yet, it is the tithe. It is the first fruits. It is that gift that comes off the top, the first check they write each month. It is a deeply spiritual thing. So my challenge to you is to see if you can move yourself up a level. Everybody knows where they are. I know where no one is. But if you've never pledged, leave a tip. If you often tip, maybe think about a more generous gift. You give generously, maybe think about what it means to make Epiphany higher on your list of giving. And in all of it, remember the glory of God and the community that is us here. So that's it. This is our church. We support it for many reasons. Each is important. I stepped into this dreaded sermon with dread. I hope it went okay. I will tell you that I actually thoroughly enjoyed this process of going through my thinking of why I give and why I'm here. And what I ask is that you remember that stewardship matters and be generous to our church. Thank you.